Hello and welcome to Sport Intellect Podcast. And today we'll be talking about yesterday's match where Mumbai Indians have made it 8 losses in a row now, and a lot of fans are going to be really disappointed. They have been conquered twice now by Lucknow Super Giants, and another KL Rahul 100. And then moving forward, as you can see, CSK is having a match today and hoping that they will be able to replicate 2010 heroics, where they were once again, two wins of just seven and two wins of seven matches, and then they went on to win. Let's hope that happens. But let's begin with, I have with me on the show Sandipani. Sandipani, welcome to the show. Um,
Hello.
Mumbai Indians, the conundrum is just continuing, isn't it? Nothing seems to be going right for them this season. Where do you think yesterday? Was it something new that you saw, or was it just something you've been seeing for 8 matches now?
No, it's something that I have been seeing for 8 matches, and also I think the pressure got to them, the pressure of having lost seven. I think they could have gone for a different approach, given that they had already lost seven in the 7 games, so they really had nothing to lose yesterday. So I think that approach when 97 was needed of the last 8 overs, and Pollard was looking to play off the spinners, I think he could have gone for it, and things would might have been different because we all know that Pollard, if he gets going, if he even mistimes some of those shots, it can go for a six. Given
Yeah.
we were playing like they were playing in Wankhede, so yeah. But all in all, again a poor batting display. I think Mumbai pulled it back. As to say, they pulled it back real nicely in the last 10 overs yesterday. Even though they went for 100 odd runs, Bumrah bowled really well, and their death over trauma continues. Barring Bumrah, everybody has been going for over 12, 13 runs per over.
Yeah.
And I think you can't do anything about it because they don't have the bowling depth. Once Archer comes back, they will be a lot more stable side. But for now, I think they don't have a death over bowler. They don't have a proper spinner. But again, the fifth bowling option did brilliantly well. Ritik has been coming off his own. Like he has
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
bowling exceedingly well in the last 2 games. Uh, Better than Murugan Ashwin, has to say. Like even if I will put that blatantly. And also some of their batting order. I think their batting order. I have been going about it in the last 4 games. Why Devil Brevis at number three? Ishan Kishan is totally uh, burdened by the price tag. We can see that he's not even playing his natural game. The
Yeah.
Ishan Kishan that we
Yeah.
know of, he will even if he'll get dismissed for 8, it will be of 5 or 6 balls, not 20 balls.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
he has approached or taken up a different kind of game, say a more KL Rahul sort of a game where you first get settled in and then go for your shots. But he has to realize that both have different games. So he should play his own attacking style. And I think they can now reconsider him, like putting him back at number 4 or number 5 in the batting order, and say get Devil Brevis up the order if you are so desperate to play him. No, nothing
As
against
in,
Brevis. Brevis is a brilliant
yeah.
talent, and he's a man for the future. So
Hmm.
he'll come good eventually. But if Tim David is there in your he's sitting in the bench. They bought him for some 8.5 crores, and then he just played 2 games, and then he was taken out. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't understand that bit because even though Devil Braves is a future opportunity, future scope, he'll do very well in the future. But for now, they could have at least strengthened their lower middle order. I think that's also a concern for Mumbai. Number four,
Yeah.
number six,
Yeah.
number seven, they have not been able to successfully chase 10 runs per over in the last 7, 8 overs. We have seen
Hmm.
twice or thrice this tournament that they have lost chasing 70 or 80 of the last 7, 8 overs with wickets in hand, which is a big cause of concern. And Surya Kumar Yadav, Tilak Verma, they're in a very good form. Put them up the order, put them at number 3 and number 4. Again, things that I've been saying for a long time now.
Yeah, I think fair enough. They obviously struggled when it comes to their opening pair. Yesterday, Rohit Sharma looked very good, which is, I think, a very good sign for Mumbai Indians fans because he was attacking. He was able to hit the balls at the middle of his bat. I think it was just maybe it was just one miss hit, and that happens. When you're playing game at this level, even the ballers are not going to be easy to get away with. But Rohit Sharma looked very good. Ishan Kishan, on the other hand, just completely counteracted against that momentum that Rohit Sharma was providing into the innings. When you are scoring at 8 of 20, that is test match stats, and that is not IPL stats. That is certainly not the kind of stats that, that the kind of stats that someone like Ishan Kishan should have. Um, Unfortunately, I think he's probably having a bit of lack of confidence. Maybe he's overthinking a lot. And maybe if you bring him down the order when he has lesser balls to face, maybe that overthinking will be reduced and the concentration will be narrow. With the lesser balls, you have one target in mind, that is to go after. Maybe the amount of time that 120 balls is giving him is probably what is narrowing, or maybe bringing too much of thoughts into his head. Maybe when the ball is also a bit older and stops doing a bit, that's what we have seen this in IPL. The Tata new ball, as it's called, has been moving a lot, and maybe that's one of the undoings of Ishan Kishan as well, possibly. So maybe if you bring him lower down the order, you might see, you might strengthen your lower order, as you mentioned rightly. Because as I was just going over, the stats of Daniel Sams and Jaydev Unadkat, who probably form their lower order, and they are not good because Daniel Sams has an average of 51 as a bowler, not as a batsman, which is not a good thing. This is probably what's been an undoing for him. But just 10 matches in, so maybe it's too early to judge. His batting average is 4.2, which Mumbai would have hoped was his bowling average.
And add to that bowling average, he has picked up a 4-wicket haul in the game before this one, the game before the last one. He picked up a 4-wicket haul, and still he has gone for over 50.
I think CSK is the only team who has the quality this time around to give him a 4 but it's been bad for them. We have a fellow Mumbai Indians fan just joining in. Sanjit, quickly, yesterday's match, what do you think went wrong? I think me and Sandeep have listed quite a bit. But I'll ask you something which is looking like a very good, which is looking a bit of better omen for Mumbai, which is Rohit Sharma looked a lot better in touch. He looked like he had come in with a little bit more, with a little bit more intensity to go after the bowling, and he did so. Probably if Ishan Kishan had given him a better, support, you could have had a better match or a different match.
I mean, honestly, there are two ways to look at it. All right. The first one is probably that was a forced reaction to the way Ishan Kishan was playing. Number one, that could also be said.
Yeah.
Because Ishan Kishan was struggling. See, I feel the only problem Ishan Kishan is facing in the tournament is the inability to take singles. All right. And I just feel he's not able to get that release shot right. But the intent, as far as maybe a Kishan is considered, was lacking somewhere. All right. I heard Sandipani speak about price tag pressure. See, as far as Ishan Kishan at this stage should know that he is a left-hander. Okay, he's still young, so he's there for the long haul, and he's a wicket keeper, and he is a damn good batsman. So he will be having money spent on. So, but I don't think. I mean, if you have price tax pressure, I mean, what I would a kind of failure I would rather see is him trying to score 14, 15 deliveries and getting out, not trying to stay till the end of the 20th over. But yeah, also as far as Rohit Sharma's form is concerned, I don't think he's ever been out of form. I feel he's not being able to convert those 5, 10, and 15 runs. And as far as maybe class, or as far as batting form is concerned, or the position, the stance he has when he plays the shot, it has hardly ever been wrong or bad, right? Unless when he gets into awkward position himself, trying to do too much, or just trying to just rage hit the ball. Apart from that, I feel he's been okay. A good 39.
We've lost you.
Satyapani, am I audible to you?
Yeah, I think it's something to do with Jaden's net.
Oh.
But yeah, I totally agree with you on this one. And Rohit Sharma coming back to form is a very good sign, not only for Mumbai Indians, it's a very good sign for India. Because Kohli and Sharma not performing are huge causes of concern for Team India.
Right. And as far as the pattern I'm noticing with Mumbai Indians' failure is the fact that at the end of 11 and 12 overs, no matter what the score is, they find themselves chasing at the rate of 10 or 11. And it comes down to 20 runs an over at the end of 3 overs. And you cannot expect Pollard to do that. It can happen once in maybe a season. It can't happen 3 times in 8 games. That's
no,
but
possible. Don't you think the approach yesterday, because they had nothing to lose, they could have gone after it when 95 was needed of the last 8 overs, 97 was needed of the last 8 overs. They could have gone for it. I mean, they just lost the game in the middle overs itself.
and it appears to be a mystery to me too as to why that didn't happen. Although, I mean, see, I don't know. At this stage, I can only take positives out of whatever is left. All right. So, but I don't know. The next season looks very promising. This season, I was having a mathematical calculation. So retentions were worth 42 crores, right? Then you end up buying Ishan Kishan for 16 crores. That isn't performing. About 8 crores for Jofra Archer is going to come in the next season. About 8 crores of
Yeah.
Tim David is on the bench. So there's practically 72 crores of retentions that aren't, except Surya and Bumrah, that aren't performing the best. All right. And another 30 crores that is almost non-existent or is adversely affecting. So practically the addition to your team apart from your core retentions are about 18 crore rupees, right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, even mathematically. And so I was having a conversation with another friend, last night, and he had an interesting thing to say. He's like, the Mumbai Indians aren't losing on the ground; they lost in the auction this season. But
Yeah.
probably things
That's a right.
change
That's a very
next
right
season.
point. Correct.
Yeah,
Like,
so and I agree to what he said, but at the end of the day, nagging and finding faults in this team will be an insult to the 5 years of joy it has, 5 titles and 2 Champions League joy it has given me. So I will not pinpoint much, but if this is what Ishan Kishan's approach is gonna be, all right, and if this is how he's gonna play, then if I have a wicket keeping, I'm mighty impressed with Ritik Shokeen though. All right, he's been
yeah,
bowling
very
times,
impressed.
and
Yeah.
if you're able to bowl to Lokesh Rahul and not give it 10 runs an over on a, even if it's two pace, you're an off spinner. All right, so if you're able to contain, then I was very happy, pretty happy with Pollard's bowling also yesterday. I was actually surprised why he wasn't used much more in the previous games. But yeah, apart from that, there's only been one or two positives every game. But as a whole, there hasn't been maybe execution of the highest level, or maybe somewhere it was even lacked in planning. I was mighty happy with the fielding yesterday, though. Unlike the previous 7 games, the only thing only improvement I saw was the fielding. Although Tilak Verma should have grabbed onto that catch. Apart from that,
Mhm.
Rohit Sharma was electrifying, and like Surya Kumar Yadav and Rohit Sharma, I have also trimmed my beard and to make sure. And I see Jennings
No,
wearing his.
honestly, I have not seen Rohit Sharma so energized on the field. Like he was electrifying on the field yesterday. I haven't seen him with so much energy even playing for India.
Oh my, I'm just wondering if this is the curse of the Indian captain that has come up in the last 5 6 years. I don't know what it is, but I hope it doesn't
Do you
affect.
think
I mean,
RCB has a chance this year around? I suppose.
if that happens,
Let's see.
All right, guys, let's just move on to the next match then. Exciting times for CSK. Incidentally, today is the first. Today is the day when Chennai Super Kings won their first title back in 2010, 25th of April. And what's interesting about that season is the fact that they begin that season by losing. 5 matches out of 7, similar to what the situation they are in. Although there were 8 teams back in the time, and the calculation was much more simpler, but maybe it's time that they take inspiration from the previous match, and they've not had a good run as well. You might say they have won 2 matches. The RCB match, obviously, they look very comprehensively. They won the match,
yeah.
but this time around, the Mumbai match was a very scrappy performance, and it could have ended up on either side if not for MS Dhoni and the 20th over romance that he's had since the start of IPL. But looking at today's match, two teams which are languishing at the bottom. Punjab has had some really bad form. They won 2 in the last 5, but they've just completely fallen off course. And their previous match is something that everyone in the batting lineup would want to forget. Um, they won the toss. Chennai's won the toss, elected to bat first. If I'm not wrong, this is happening in Wankhede. Is it happening in
Yeah, yeah,
Wankhede?
it is.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
happening in the same ground that we played yesterday. And Graham Swan, in his pitch report, has said that batting first would be a good option, but CSK has gone with bowling. Looking at the change, they finally listened to Sport Intellect and they've brought in Bhanuka Rajapaksha back. They've let go of the faith that they were showing in Bairstow. So interesting move, and they've also brought in Rishi Dhawan. So they finally listened to Abel, who isn't here with us today. But Rishi
Shout
Dhawan
out to
comes
Stephen Fleming following our channel every day.
in. Oh, no, Stephen Fleming.
Anil Kumble.
Stephen Fleming is not much. Anil Kumble has listened to our show, channel today. So thanks to Anil. Anil, we hope you reach out to us. We'd like to have an interview. But guys, let's look at this match. Mayank Agarwal has had a good start. Then just like the other, Punjab captains, once again at the bottom of the table, which we are so used to. Sanjit, I'll begin with you. What do you think these changes are going to bring into their team? Do you think, let's look at the two particular ones. Bhanuka Rajapaksha is obviously something that we've been speaking for so long, but Sandeep Sharma and Rishi Dhawan are back in. So they're trying to strengthen their lower order a bit and the bowling a bit more.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, I've never been a Rishi Dhawan fan. But if the pitch plays similar to how it did yesterday, then it is come up for a little too paced, all right? And I feel Rishi Dhawan can be of some use as far if the pitch turns out to be the same as yesterday, all right? My question is where does Bhanu Paksa bat? If one of you could give a where do you think he will bat? Because I don't see any change. I mean, shifting 1, 2, 3, 4, or even putting maybe Jitesh Sharma lower down the order. I'm not very sure as to what the batting order will be. So that's something that I'm waiting to see. If anybody could, what do you all think? Where's Bhanu Paksa gonna bat? That's my question, and I'll take over later.
I think Bhanu Paksha will come in at number 3. Mayank Dhawan will open.
If I may, Sandivani, I'll just make a correction. I had mentioned that Bairstow is
Yeah. Nathan Ellis is being dropped.
Nathan Ellis is missing out.
Yeah.
Replaced Nathan Ellis with Bhanu Paksha. Yeah. Sorry.
So they have made the right choice. If they would have dropped Bairstow and brought in Bhanu Rajapaksha, it would still mean that they haven't strengthened their batting yet, because they are playing they played one batsman short in the last game. We spoke about it in our post game and even in the pre game that they need to strengthen their batting more than their bowling, because their bowlers they had 3 bowlers in Arshdeep, Rahul Chahar and Rabada who are doing the job. It's just that 4th and 5th bowling option. So I had suggested to drop Nathan Ellis and bring in either Rishi Dhawan or Sandeep Sharma. They have listened. I think it will bring them very good luck. And answering Sanjit's question, I think Rajapaksha will come in at number 3. Bairstow has played for England at number 4. So I think Bairstow will fit in at number 4. Livingston will drop to number 5. And if Shikhar Dhawan manages to give them the right start, like if they don't lose too many wickets in the power play, if they are 40 or 45 for no loss at the end of 6 overs, I'll be very scared if I'm in the Chennai dugout.
I think Shah Rukh Khan is dropped, as our producers just mentioned.
Yeah, so Jitesh Sharma is at number 6 and Rishi Dhawan at number 7.
I think to answer
suits
question,
perfectly.
I feel maybe you might see Bhanu Paksha come at the end. Maybe that's what they're going to look at Bhanu Paksha to do. Ask him to, be the finisher that Shah Rukh Khan couldn't be. That's probably what I'm looking at. Maybe not put that pressure on Jitesh Sharma. He's a young lad. Yes, he's done really well. He's been very impressive. But he hasn't been someone who's gone long. And that's something you expect from a lad who's just come into the IPL playing his first season. Not everyone's going to take over, like David Padikkal did in the previous season. It just, sometimes it takes time, to go ahead.
I only look out to the entire thing more than Jitesh Sharma getting opportunity was if Rajapaksa plays above Livingstone, you push him down the order more. But he's the person who's been hitting the ball the best among the top 4. All right. So do you push Livingston more down the order, or do you put Rajapaksa after Jitesh Sharma at maybe number 6? Also, as far as Shah Rukh Khan is concerned, I mean, he had to be dropped now. Maybe if not this game, maybe the next game. And I really don't know, but I feel as far as giving starts is considered, all right, that's not what today is going to be about, all right. Like yesterday's game, you'll have to see one person see it through. If not play 20 overs, at least play in, one of Mayank Agarwal or Shikhar Dhawan will have to stay, all right. And they might not be able to play in the normal aggressive way that they play. Maybe a cycle at 110 or 120 for the first 10 overs, just take it down to maybe 70, 75, 80 runs in the first 10 overs and then try and be the aggressor. But at least one among the top 3 has to play maybe 14, 15, 16 overs for them to get to a good score, because you saw it with everybody yesterday, right? You weren't able to get the ball away, except for maybe Rohit Sharma was able to hit the ball, or maybe he had to, whatever you say about it. Even in the Mumbai team, or maybe even in the even in the other team, like people are playing at 22 and 22 was Manish Pandey's score, and everybody they had scored 58, I assume, in 59 balls or something, apart from Lokesh Rahul's 100 yesterday. So it is not easy to get the ball away if you haven't got the hang in right. Alright. So one person will have to stay back, and I expect Mayank Agarwal as of today to get the job done. At the end of the day, he is the captain. He has to lead the way because Shikhar Dhawan will have to play in the aggressive style that he plays usually. That's he's best suited for that. Also, I really doubt how much that's gonna happen because I'm excited to see how Mukesh Chaudhary is gonna go today again.
So
All right.
that was going to be my next question as well. Mukesh
Yeah.
Chaudhary has actually come good now. I think CSK
Yes.
have sort of, understood the way to go with him instead of, I think before they were looking at him like a Deepak Chahar, where 2 overs in the upfront and 2 overs at the end, and did not work for them. But now they are, finishing his overs in the first first 10. Maybe it'll go till 11 or 12, and afterwards they don't even give him. Even if he has 1 over left, they are not looking at him anymore.
Fair. I mean, I really don't know, but Chennai's bowling today looks like they could quite trouble the Punjab Kings batting. All right, Punjab is slightly batting heavy today, and as far as Chennai is concerned, their bowling has come off well. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping maybe someone like a Ruturaj can get going today. Raidu, unpurposely has played a lot at this ground, so it's not that he doesn't know how the ground works or what the dimensions are, or how he can get runs of the pitch or of the ground. So so let's see. Looks like both teams have different dimensions of their game ready today, and it'll be a fun game to watch. I'm expecting this to be a slightly short scoring game though, but I hope it's as exciting as not as exciting as yesterday, but as exciting as it can be.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see though. CSK unchanged, I think this time around. If I'm not wrong,
Yeah, yeah,
they aren't playing with Moin Ali, who is one of the retained players, and they've looked at yesterday at a very interesting switch where Mitch Santner came at number 3.
Yeah.
That was that. Do you think that is something which is Sandeep Ali, I'll come to you. Do you think that is okay? Moin Ali is injured, so
yeah.
we've got a
Knee
producer
injury.
correcting us. So, but let's look at. Let's look at someone like Mitch Santner number 3. Do you guys think that's a good place to go with, or was it something tactical where they're looking at a pinch hitter, something that Sam Curran played for them?
Yeah, I think in the last game they looked at it in the like they brought in Mitchell Santner in as a pinch hitter, but I don't think that they will go about it in all the games because Shivam Dubey has been in good form and he is coming in at number 5. So I think they can push everybody up the order. Like Raidu can come in at number 3, Shivam Dubey can come in at number 4, and then we have Jadeja, Dhoni in the finishing roles. So I think Santner bringing in Santner at number 3 was a pinch hitter move, like was to get him to play the role of a pinch hitter. But again, Chennai are chasing. So if Punjab Kings set a target of, I agree with Sanjit. I think the pitches are slowly starting to wear off. 160, 170 would be a good total on this pitch. I expect Punjab Kings to score around 160 today. And if they do that, that will be par. And Chennai have to play really well to chase it down. And we may again see Santner coming in at number 3. Uh, Speaking about their bowling, I think they have it sorted. Chennai have it sorted. Mukesh Chaudhary, as you said, that he will bowl only in the power plays. They'll get Mukesh Chaudhary and Mahesh Thikshana to bowl in the power plays. Yesterday, in the last game, Santner bowled in the power play, but that was got to do with that had to do with Mumbai struggling against left arm spinners. So I think that is not the case with Punjab, but they struggled against Delhi in the last game. Akshay Patel bowled really well. Kuldeep Yadav, they were unable to pick Kuldeep Yadav. The tailenders were unable to pick Kuldeep Yadav. So spin will be very important. Thikshana and Mukesh Chaudhary will bowl in the power play, and then the spinners, Jadeja and Santner will do the job for them in the middle overs, and then they have Dwayne Pretorius and Dwayne Bravo in the best of. Bravo is in absolute at his best, if we have to say, with the ball. So they can do the job in the end. So I think Chennai are the slightly favored side tonight. Also, they have won the toss. But again, Punjab Kings have made those changes, and we have to see whether they change their approach or not. Sanjit said that they will change their approach and they will go for 70-75 in the first 10 overs. But I doubt that. I feel that they will retain their approach. They will probably assign the role of Shah Rukh Khan to Jesus Sharma, and then Rishi Dhawan can come in at number 7 and Rabada, they can all go for the shots. And I think they have the batting unit, batting lineup to go for it. Just that they should not lose too many wickets early on.
Yeah, interestingly, Punjab has lost 29 wickets, if I'm not wrong, in the middle overs, which is the
Yes.
worst for any team in this year's IPL. And it is very interesting. We've spoken about it before also. They are the best team in the power play in terms of net run rate and the worst team in the death overs. In fact, their power play and their last overs are not much different. When you look at other teams, I mean, I don't have stats that are coming to my mind, but other teams are ideally in a T20 match, even if your power play isn't probably, 8 or 8.5, your death over should be 10 plus. And that's probably how you win IPL, I mean, T20 matches. But Punjab has struggled, and by the time, they come towards the end, their gas seems to run out and they don't have the power. There's an interesting question here by Shafiqullah Mohammed. He says that Jadeja should bat at number 3 without Moeen Ali in the lineup. I mean, before I go to the others in the panel, I think for me personally, I think the reason why Moeen Ali does well at number 3 is because he's been a top order batsman before, and he's coming from England where there's not an issue with the ball moving. But I think Jadeja, maybe it's I'm not questioning his batting, but maybe it is better that you hide him from the moving ball, because that has been the undoing of many teams. And maybe for me, if Jadeja is kept at the end, he's better. Um, Number 3, I still feel the reason probably why Mitch Santner was tried is also the same reason. He's someone who can still face the moving ball. I'm not saying he's got the best of techniques, but he can still survive. He's done it before in Test matches for New Zealand. But that's probably why I see he was a choice there. But today it's going to be interesting. You might see Ambati Raidu at number 3 only. And as Sandeep Ali mentioned, you might see everyone just being pushed up the order and Santner coming later down. Let's talk about MS Dhoni. We couldn't speak about him. I think we spoke about him, I think, before, but he's really changed things around, right? Till the previous season, we were speaking about how Dhoni has been on and off, or he hasn't been himself. But ever since he's relinquished captaincy, he's just turned years back, and he's coming very good for CSK in the end. He's once again seemingly doing the job so well. The same calculated risks that he's been taking. Sanjit, what do you think has been the change? Do you think there is some sort of freedom now that Dhoni is facing?
Uh,
Also answers
that's
Jadeja
that's,
question.
that's rather that I have two answers for this question, right? Yes, I agree. There is some sort of freedom as far as he has left captaincy. All right, he's being able to play with some sort of freedom to play his shots. He can take it deeper. Also, practically there is there's nobody you can call a batsman that comes in after him. So when he goes into bat, that is practically his game. He will do what he wants. All right, not that he did something any differently earlier, but now he can do what he wants. Also, the CSK batters haven't given him that kind of comfort or that kind of cushion as to where he can come in and take his time, or just
Yeah.
take the game deep, or you take the singles and doubles which is usually known to take, and just distort the feeling a little bit. All right, have some conversations with the non-striker. The CSK batting hasn't given him that kind of cushion also. So somewhere his role, not his role, maybe his performances are somewhat a result of whatever circumstances he's been batting in. But he's looking much better. All right, he's moving a little faster. I mean, not that was a problem ever, but uh, I don't know. But I would actually really prefer if Dhoni could come on to bat at maybe a number 5. All right, maybe he can just take his time, because if you talk about 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Chennai team, it's Uthappa, Dube, Raidu, and Rutraj. All right, none of them have a problem at at scoring at pace. All right, so it is best if if you want Dhoni to play a long innings or take it till the end, or have many balls to bat. All right, then the best place for him to bat probably for me is even a number 4 or a number 5. Number 7, while chasing, he's practically left the game on Dhoni's shoulders and saying, you know what? So, for example, today
Yeah.
Punjab score 150 again, all right? And Dhoni comes into bat, having to chase maybe 65. It's not, even if he has 60 balls to play, he will probably have no batsman with him to take the game around. So he will have no other choice than to take it to maybe 40 runs in 25 balls and then do some kind of magic again that you generally expect him to do. And that is him falling prey to the circumstances that the team has put him in. That is that will not I will not call it him playing freely or anything of that sort. But
Huh.
as far as the results are considered, he is giving it to Chennai Super Kings, all right. And I don't know. Looks like let's hope he doesn't have the need to come in and bat the way you usually want him to see. Also, today should be a good game for Chennai Super Kings. Also, as far as Jadeja at number 3 is concerned, I see no reason why he shouldn't. Right, it'll be good to have a left-hander in the middle. Also, Jadeja's good. He's been good with spinners, slightly shorter boundaries. Also, we didn't speak. I heard yesterday that it's always better to have a righty and a lefty in the combination so that you can use the shorter side of the boundary much more often.
Correct. I think yesterday one of the commentators made this point.
Yeah,
If I'm not
so
wrong. Correct.
probably I would mind even Dubey coming in at number 3, or even
Hmm.
Jadeja coming in at number 3. And if it all even Jadeja maybe gets out or whatever, you still have Dubey coming in. So it's better to have a left-hander coming in, maybe number 3 in the next at number 5 or number 6. Or so you can push Santana down, or you can use Santana to come up. But it really depends on what the score is. If the batters have done well, maybe it's 50 or 60 for 1, 8 or 9 overs for Chennai Super Kings. There's no reason why Jadeja cannot come up and bat. All right, he's been hitting the ball well. Also, Rahul Cheryl, getting the ball in the middle overs, and a few batsmen there have a problem to try to hoik someone like a Chahar out of the park. So maybe Jadeja can come in, be more than handy there because the ball is spinning. All right, the ball will spin.
Yeah.
So I'd prefer a left-hander coming in, maybe Dubey because even Dubey's been hitting the ball well, or even Jadeja because it'll be nice for him going into the tournament if they can restrict Punjab for a smaller total, or even a big one today. It'll be nice for someone like a Jadeja to take up responsibility, come up and get a good 40-50 runs this match. He'll do his confidence a world of good, and I think it's important today to have maybe a left-hander come in at maybe a number 3, or to have that left-righty combination going.
Yeah, fair enough. So we have 5 minutes left. So, gentlemen, predictions quickly. I'll begin with Sandipani. I mean, you have already favored CSK, which I'm glad. So let's just say, I mean, CSK then today.
Yeah. I think CSK are the favorites coming into this game because they have won their last encounter, even though it was not a clinical performance, but they managed to win it. And Punjab Kings, they don't look in form. They don't look a team in form. They lost their last 2 games, and in the last game they looked completely clueless how to play the spinners. And CSK have 3 spinners in their ranks. Jadeja, Santner, and Thikshana. I think they'll face a lot of trouble. Having said that, if Punjab Kings can pull off a good, if they can score on something around 170, 180, I think they will be able to beat CSK, which will be an upset according to me. I think CSK are the favorites going into this one.
Sajid?
Hmm, you put me in a pickle here, but yeah, again, my gut say Punjab is gonna take this game, but I hope CSK does. The batsmen look much more in form. They're able to connect the ball well, so it should be CSK's game technically. But I don't know. Something says me Mayank was gonna come into play today, and you know, see if at all maybe Agarwal and Dhawan can get through that Mukesh Chaudhary spell and the Tikshana spell, the first couple of overs. I feel Chennai will have to do a lot to be able to stop them, or to really make a difference in that scoreboard. So let's see. But I'll go with Punjab today because both of you are going with Chennai Super Kings, and you wearing that jersey, Jaren, is almost is making me red.
I mean, I actually, I mean, my heart says CSK is gonna win. My heart's
Okay.
always been with CSK, but I'm really afraid of when I mean, heard that the toss. It seemed like Jadeja is banking on the due factor to go well for
Yes.
him, and that's what is worrying me because yesterday we did not see much of it, and that's one of the reasons what was the undoing of Mumbai as well because they couldn't get on with it because of the due factor not coming in. So I'm doubtful whether that will happen. If that doesn't happen, then CSK will be in a lot of trouble because the pitches are started to turn. We have seen uncharacteristic, I mean, gripping at Wankhede, and I'm really afraid that's going to happen today as well. So I think that's I hope. I hope that doesn't come to it. But yeah, let's see how the match goes. Hoping CSK wins, but objectively speaking, I think Punjab have a very good chance because I think Jadeja is messed up with the toss. But let's see how it goes.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
then in that case, if you're saying Punjab, I'll go back to CSK. I thought both of us were rooting for CSK. No. Go ahead.
I
Oh,
think you,
no, please allow me. I'm going back to CSK because no matter how two-faced that pitch is, all right, I feel Ruturaj Gaikwad has the ability to take any kind of bowler on, no matter how two-faced that is. All right.
this is really
So
nice to see you play the devil's advocate.
yeah, so it's like I'm almost betting all my horses on the fact that Ruturaj Gaikwad will come good today. I'm also pretty positive on Ambati Rayudu making full use of this pitch. Shivam Dubey also plays a lot of cricket here. It is not that Dew is something that is very foreign to him. All right, but I don't know. Somewhere it says that maybe if Punjab is going to do exceedingly well today, but just for the fact that you said a Punjab, I'll go with Chennai Super Kings. I think they'll take the game home.
I think if any CSK fans are gonna watch, they're gonna see this as a betrayal, definitely. And you've just pressed it even more. But yeah, let's see. All right, the players are on the pitch. The match is about to begin. So thank you so much for joining us. Hope we've given you the analysis that you were hoping for. And please do subscribe to our channel if you're new here. And if you have been following us before, please do like and show us some love. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Sanjeet and Sandivani, for joining us. Hoping I am proved wrong. My objective side of analysis is proved wrong, and my heart wins. So yeah, all right. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, thank you, Shivani. We do agree that Sandivani
Yeah.
brings joy with that
No,
smile.
thank you, Shivani. You have been very sweet to me in the last 2, 3 streams.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.